Rain Man, which would go on to inspire a flawlessly written Eminem track.
And I ain't even gotta make no goddamn sense. I just did a whole song and I didn't say shit.
Oscar-winning rapper, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Follows Charlie Babbitt, played by Tom Cruise, who discovers that his estranged father has just croaked. Man, Tom Cruise really has bad luck with movie fathers, doesn't he? Son of a But he suddenly learns that the inheritance money is being given to his, until now unmentioned brother Ray, played by Dustin Hoffman, who suffers from autism and Savant syndrome while he gets next to nothing. Ouch.
Whoa, look, I'm out of here.
However, Charlie then decides to try to gain custody of Ray in order to gain control of the money, and the two set off on a cross-country road trip as they learn to grow as brothers. Yes, that old chestnut.
This'll be interesting.
Production for the film began in 1987 when co-writer Barry Morrow pitched the story to United Artists head Roger Birnbaum, who loved it and instantly greenlit the production. The director's chair was then offered to Martin Brest.
This is funny, Ray. Don't you think this is funny?
Yeah, this is funny.
But he left due to creative differences with the actors, and Steven Spielberg and Sidney Pollack were also considered before Barry Levinson was eventually selected after he read the script. The role of Raymond was originally written with Bill Murray in mind, but he was forced to back out due to scheduling conflicts with Ghostbusters 2, and the part was then offered to Jack Nicholson, Mel Gibson and Robert De Niro before eventually being given to Dustin Hoffman, and it was actually him who suggested that Ray be autistic. Weirdly, Hoffman was originally cast as Charlie, but he persuaded the director to give him the other role, and even handpicked Tom Cruise to play his brother instead.
That's good, Ray.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Filming began in the summer of 1987 in Palm Springs, California, and lasted 9 weeks, but it wasn't free of problems. Is it ever?
Uh-oh.
During the shooting of some casino scenes, Dustin Hoffman would often wander off to play blackjack, and the crew would spend several hours looking for him. This happened so often that Levinson was forced to assign a member of the crew to watch him at all times to make sure he didn't make a run for it. First he slaps Meryl Streep, and then he wanders off and spends hours gambling. How did he continue getting work?
Stop acting like a f***ing retard.
In fact, Hoffman said that he found the performance incredibly difficult, to the point that he almost tried to convince the director to recast his role with a better actor. Get Richard Dreyfuss, get somebody, Barry, because this is the worst work of my life. Probably just wanted some time off so he can go and gamble some more.
Enough already.
Weirdly, Tom Cruise didn't have much faith in the project either. During filming, he and Hoffman would often jokingly refer to the movie as two schmucks in a car. Then why did you agree to be in it then? It's not like either of you needed the money or the publicity at that point in your careers.
This guy's a freak.
On top of that, most of the filming took place during the 1988 Writers Guild of America strike, which meant that the last few days of production ended up being rushed in order to get the movie released on time. The writer ended up delivering the final draft of the script only hours before the strike started and spent no time on set. When choosing who to compose the musical score, Barry Levinson's wife had seen the film A World Apart and loved the soundtrack and bought the CD for her husband. Levinson loved it so much he tracked down the composer to a small studio in the shady neighbourhoods of London. This composer turned out to be future legend Hans Zimmer. I mean, I'm glad his work finally got recognised, but isn't that a bit creepy? Tracking someone down to their work studio?
Stop it!
Zimmer immediately jumped at the chance to work in Hollywood, but he did find some elements of composing difficult, as Levinson told him to avoid string instruments as he didn't want the soundtrack to come off as too sentimental. Thankfully it worked out, and the film earned Zimmer his first Oscar nomination for Best Original Score.
Consider it foreplay.
Rain Man was released on December the 16th, 1988 and grossed an incredible $354.8 million on a budget of just $25 million, making it the highest grossing film that year and receiving mostly positive reviews. However, as time went on, many people criticised the film as an inaccurate portrayal of autism and for perpetuating the stereotype that people on the autistic spectrum typically have savant skills. However, many others defended the film's portrayal of the disability and praised the movie for bringing attention to the fact that many agencies failed to accommodate those with autism. Michael Caine called Tom Cruise's performance in the film one of the best he had ever seen, and it was nominated for 8 Academy Awards, winning 4 for Best Director, Best Actor for Hoffman, Best Original Screenplay and Best Picture, making it at the time the highest grossing Best Picture winner in history until it was eventually dethroned by Forrest Gump 6 years later. Ironically, also starring a mentally disabled hero.
What's the point? What's the point?
You took the car with no permission.
Yes, we're on.
Why? Why then?
Because I deserved it. You know, nothing I did was good enough for this guy. Don't you understand that? We're on Columbia Parkway, 4 kids. We get pulled over. He called in a report of a stolen car. Not his son took the car without permission. Just stolen. Central Station, the other guy's dad's bail him out in an hour. He left me there 2 days.
He left you in prison for 2 days?
But you stole his car! Why are you at your dad? You stole his car! Don't be a dick. Don't steal.
Rain, what?
You know, one of those imaginary childhood friends.
What happened to him?
Nothing, I just grew up.
Ah, so he used to be a Christian. When he finds out about the will, this is brilliantly acted. I'm really becoming more of a Cruise fan the more of his work I'm introduced to. Just listen to this.
Yeah, I'm sorry, son. I can see that you're disappointed.
Disappointed? Why should I be disappointed? I got rose bushes, didn't I? I got a used car, didn't I? What's his name got? What'd you call him? The,
Beneficiary.
Right, beneficiary. He got $3 million, but he didn't get the rose bushes. I got the rose bushes. I definitely got the rose bushes.
Charles.
I definitely got the rose bushes. I mean, those are rose bushes.
There is no need to go...
To what? To be upset? To be upset? If there is a hell, sir, my father's in it, and he is looking up right now, and he is laughing his ass off.
He really has such a bad history with fathers. No wonder he was such a crap dad in War of the Worlds.
Maybe we're not supposed to be looking around here, no?
My god, his girlfriend is so annoying! She's literally only there to give exposition so we can hear what Cruise is going through. The only reason! But apparently she just lets random guys climb into their car, little dumbass. But I have to say, Hoffman plays the part of an autistic really well. He nails all of the mannerisms perfectly.
Hey, I'm talking to you! Bruner, who is this guy?
Raymond is your brother.
Okay, I do hate how this is revealed. It should be this big dramatic reveal. He's never known that he had a brother. And in this movie, it's just, oh, that's your bro. All right, cool. But the film does a great job showing the heightened intelligence of autistic people, as Hoffman is able to memorize and recite a bunch of statistics and historical facts.
Raymond, Ted Kluszewski.
Kluszewski. Ted Kluszewski. Big clue, first base.
I've got something called Asperger syndrome, which means I'm a genius.
So Cruise basically bro-naps Hoffman, but then... Oh god, this is worse than if your kid walks in. Wait, why are they moaning that much when they're... Are they spooning? Is that the position they're doing? Just casually busting a nut with your brothers on the bed watching TV. It's disturbing, but funny.
Jesus
Stop it. Go in there with him. Come on, Charlie, go in there. He's your brother.
Why?
He's afraid. He doesn't understand this.
God, she's so annoying! All of her dialogue is, stop using your brother, you're being so mean, go and be nice to your brother, we get it, shut up!
You don't listen to me.
Shut up!
You don't listen to me. This is...
What? What are you talking about?
I asked you to go there and apologize.
Huh?
You went there and you insulted him again.
What am I supposed to do, tuck him in? I'm not his mother, for Christ's sake.
Charlie, you're his brother.
I mean, she's right, but she's just so irritating. Off and die. But seriously, Cruise wants to keep his brother with him until he gets his half of the money. This is quite dark when you think about it.
What is my crime here, huh?
Your crime
What
is
is
that
my
you use
goddamn
people.
crime?
You use people. You're using Raymond. You're using me. You use everybody.
I'm using Raymond. Raymond! Am I using you? Am I using you, Raymond? Yeah. Shut up!
Okay, that's hilarious. I mean, even though what Cruise is doing is clearly wrong, you can't help but empathize with the character. It is a lot of money. I'm just saying, your dad leaves you out of his will, you're going to be a little bitter and act irrationally.
Sally Tibbs Sally. 461-0192.
How did you know my phone number?
How'd you know that?
She said read the telephone book last night. Tibbs Sally. 461-0192.
That's insane. He's a genius! I mean, a little bit creepy, but he has autism, so it's fine. He's a genius! Seriously, the accuracy for the autism is spot on, and I double-checked with my girlfriend who works with special needs children and is autistic trained. It's completely accurate.
Just bring him back and bring him back now. This is where he belongs.
Well, I'm his brother. It's not like kidnapping here, is it?
Well, it is when you're refusing to give him back unless they give you $1.5 million. A waitress even accidentally knocks some toothpicks on the floor, and Hoffman knows the exact amount there. What the? He's not autistic, he's Mystic Meg! There are times throughout the movie that makes you question his backstory. Hoffman refuses to fly, stating historical airplane crashes over the years. He freaks out at close contact. He loses it when Cruise just tries to give him a hug. He freaks out at hot water, claiming that a baby was burned. A smoke alarm goes off and he loses it. This all makes you think, what exactly happened to him as a child? The movie never explains what any of these scenes mean, and it does pose the question about their past.
You and I are gonna get on this plane.
Sorry, but that is kind of funny. But then he doesn't want to drive either. And the more and more frustrated Cruise gets, it just becomes increasingly more funny to me. But hey, autism makes you a perfect artist as well. Autistic and artistic, pretty cool.
Of course, I'm an excellent driver.
You know how to drive?
Yeah.
When did you
Of
drive?
course, I drove the Buick on the driveway when my dad came to Walbrook.
Was Dad in the car? Was Dad in the car, right?
Yeah.
Wow, he'd let his autistic son drive the car, but not him. Must have been a right little
What did I say, Ray?
It's Kmart.
You hear me. I know you hear me.
My boxer shorts
Don't
have my...
fool me with this for a second.
Yours are too tight.
Ray, did you hear what I said? Shut up!
Again, this is completely accurate and acted so perfectly. The writing and acting from Hoffman is so spot on. It's probably one of the best performances I've ever seen. Not as good as DiCaprio in What's Eating Gilbert Grape though. I mean, it's selective hearing. And considering how old he is with autism as well, he might just be using several different things as a distraction. But can you imagine being a farmer? You're just chilling outside, you look over and all you see is...
What difference does it make? What difference does it make? Where you buy underwear?
So Cruise leaves Hoffman alone to make a call. What, seriously? He expected him to stay put? It is quite funny though as he walks across the street but stops in the middle of the road because it says don't walk. I mean, he's right, it does say don't walk, it's not very clear. So Cruise takes Hoffman to see a doctor, but I love this reaction.
Allowed to tell a story.
He's artistic.
No, he's autistic.
And it was initiated.
I'm not familiar with that. What is the exact nature of the
St.
problem?
Joe's, Missouri.
He lives in a world of his own.
And the purpose
I'm
of it
sorry,
was to
but what's
speed up
wrong
the
with
movement
him?
of
She's right, heartless b****.
Out of curiosity, does he have any special abilities?
He's autistic, he's not a member of the X-Men.
Ray, can we try something?
Yeah.
Do you know how much 312 times 123 is?
38376.
He's right.
What?
He's right.
He's right?
Yeah.
So can a calculator.
But in a cool twist, it turns out that Cruise's childhood imaginary friend Rain Man wasn't imaginary at all. He was his brother Raymond. And as he learns this, it is quite emotional. Even though the story only takes place over the course of a week, it's a well-told story as Cruise grows to love his brother. It's a transformation piece, and it's really well told.
I just want to hear it's not over. I mean, I'm scared it's over.
Mate, if I never had to hear a voice again, I'd be ecstatic.
What are you looking at that for, Ray? I just spent a couple $100 on a little TV and now you're watching a dryer.
Try having kids, mate. But Cruise realizes that Hoffman can count cards, so they head to Las Vegas. I mean, does this count as cheating? I mean, technically Hoffman isn't doing anything wrong. He's just a genius. This should be perfectly fine.
What's your name?
Raymond.
My name is Iris.
Oh, are you a 12-year-old hooker as well? But then Hoffman thinks he has a date with Iris and has to prepare, so his brother teaches him to dance. This is a really sweet scene.
It's not right what you're doing to Raymond.
Oh God, do you ever say anything else? We get the point. You have no purpose. What the f*** are you even doing here, lady? We don't need you. But somehow the casino think the duo cheated. I mean, they have no evidence. So the most they can do is...
You should take your winnings and leave the state.
So Hoffman gets stood up, but the annoying cow tries to cheer him up with a nice dance in the lift. It is really sweet and innocent, but damn John Malkovich for making me have a dirty mind and think she's trying to f*** him.
Have you ever kissed a girl?
I don't know.
Oh my God, it's not my dirty mind! This cow actually wants to have sex with two brothers! What is going on? But to go back to the mention of their father letting Hoffman drive but not Cruise, Tom now lets his brother drive his car. It's a nice little tie-in and it is really charming. Just imagine if this ended in a horrific car crash.
I'm happy that you came to Vegas.
I know.
oh, you're not as good a kisser as your brother. But this is when Cruz's transformation comes full circle. This is a really interesting change and quite human and relatable.
It's funny, I just realized I'm not pissed off anymore. My father cut me out of his will. When you were his friend, you probably knew he tried to contact me a few times over the years. I never called him back. I was a prick. Hey, if it was my son, didn't return my calls, I'd have written him out. F him.
Probably my favourite scene in the entire movie. The two actors are really good together as they're now close and good pals. It's really sweet, but they still have to go to court to determine custody of him. Man, Cruz has issues with terrible fathers and Hoffman has issues with court battles. And it's so emotional as Cruz gets defensive about how he's handled the week with his brother.
You stole Raymond out of the institution and you're willing to trade him for $1.5 million, is that correct?
My father died. I was upset. Okay? That was wrong.
So last week you were upset, and then this week you've suddenly found some devotion to your brother and you want to take care of him for the rest of your life.
Wow, when you put it like that.
Raymond, do you want to stay with your brother Charlie? Raymond, do you want to stay with your brother Charlie?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
You want to stay with your brother?
Yeah. Yeah, stay with my brother Charlie Babbitt.
That's what you want?
Yeah.
You want to stay with your brother?
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, you want to stay with your brother. While they make the decision outside of the room, it's super emotional as Cruz prepares to say goodbye and they finally connected. And unfortunately, it leads to him not having custody, but getting to visit him frequently. And the goodbye scene? I'm not crying, you're crying! Shut up, this movie's amazing! It is. It's a beautiful story of a douchebag turning good, which is done to death, sure, but for a week he grows frustrated with his brother, but their closeness grows and he learns to love him despite his problems. At one point, Cruz is actually offered $250,000 to walk away and leave the case, but he turns it down. It shows his growth as a character, and the acting on both sides is spectacular. An incredible movie that everyone should check out. Yeah, bet you didn't expect me to like that one, did ya? We're doing well, doing well.